Hello everyone, this is John for PokerVIP.com, and today I'm going to do a staked play review for Thewin LOL1. He started for us at 10 NL, I think, a month ago, and he's already moved up to 50 NL. It's kind of what we do. We like to move up people really fast, and he's crushing anyway, so why wouldn't we? We don't like to hold players back. So yeah, this is the first review I've done for him. We're going to see exactly how he plays, if he's got any leaks, what his strengths are, and just if we can improve on anything. So straight off the bat here, I like his open there, phase 3. Pretty standard stuff, definitely want to be stealing. I've noticed that that hasn't auto topped up to 100 big blinds though. That could be a leak, because we always want to be 100 big blinds minimum, in my opinion. I mean, obviously if you're a mid-stacker then you don't want to be that, but I think as just a standard player, you should probably be making sure you always got 100 bigs. Ace Jack in the cutoff, definitely an open. Queen 5, we could have maybe led there. I think we get a lot of value from draws, worse pairs, sometimes even some worse queens, or just some random floats because fish like to float. I'm glad we're leading the turn. Time to get some value or get hands that have equity to fold. That's always a fine thing to do. King Queen off, definitely an open. We are under the gun there. It's 5-handed, but I like the King Queen open. The ISO here with Ace 3 versus the undergun limp, I would have probably 4x'd it. We're out of position. We don't want the big blind to come along. On a flop like this, I might check just because we've got the cold call from the small blind. It really puts us in a tough spot. King Queen betting's fine because we'd bet with an ace. We can bet with worse. It's just you can put you in a tough spot if we get called because you kind of automatically put someone on the ace, which can either make us lose value from worse kings or be able to get outplayed. And yeah, I think that was the problem there with phase 3. We should have made it a little bit bigger pre-flop, and then maybe given up on that flop because we're against 4 cards and not against 2 cards. That kind of flop can hit a lot of people, and we have the ace of diamonds. So if it checks, we can turn the wheel, we can hit an ace, we can hit running flush and so on. King Queen on the button, I really like the min raise. You can even 2.5 exit, but min to 2.5 is what I would personally do and what I personally think is correct. King Queen suited, under the gun opened with flatted. I'm totally fine with that. If it's someone who calls 3-bets a lot of position, then I'd probably 3-bet them and pound them post flop, but flatting's the pretty standard thing to do. King Queen, I like his turn bet sizing here, 2 into 285. We get plenty of value from draws and worse kings. On a river like this, I'd go pretty big. I'd go 6. I don't think anyone's going to fold a king. I think a lot of times they have draws, so they're going to fold anyway. So I'd go big. King Queen, we floated the flop. On table 4, we turned a queen. We're probably just going to have to fold. King Queen, we decided to flat with the nuts. I think we maybe have to raise. Yeah, seeing this guy stack, I think raising the turn's fine because then it's easiest for us to get in on the river because obviously our line here looks super strong, and to be called they've got to have at least ace jack, but I think people can fold ace jack there or a set. Yeah, we chopped it. I think raising the turn's fine there. Putting more money in the pot when we've got the nuts is cool. But I understand he's flat, he's in position. We can get a bet on the river, but generally I don't think people are bluffing there, so it's not like we're inducing bluffs. We're basically getting someone to bet a hand that they think's going to get called. So when we jam, our hand kind of face up anyway. So we could even just min raise that turn and get all the draws to call, even though they've got the price to do so. We've got the nuts, so they can only beat us by actually hitting that exact draw. All their 2 pairs call, or a lot of 1 pairs call. Ace queens, ace kings maybe. Jack queens, jack kings, combos kind of like that because they're getting such a good price. So it could be a spot to build a pot and own people. Nice open with the 8s on the button. Standard open with king queen suited as well. Awesome flop for us. I'd go really big here against 2 fish. 325, 350. We could even bet 4. The 8s here, I like the raise in case the guy has a draw or an ace that he wants to hang on to. That size looks great. I'd probably just jam the turn here, yeah. King, queen suited, we can jam. whatever we get called by, we've got incredible equity, and as you can see, we would have got there anyway. So yeah, Thuan's a new player of ours. He's pretty much a sicko, really. I think he got supernova in the past. He burnt out. I think he spent his role on some life things, and he came to us saying, I'm happy to start at 10 and L and work my way up, and he's proven he can do it, and it's exactly what he did do. I'll just skip this along so we're all saying. So yeah, if you're in the same sort of circumstance and you just want to build a role and learn to improve and be part of a strategy group and a forum, then make sure you apply now. You can do that through the forum, just leaving a comment below, or sending us a PM, or even hopping on live chat. 7-8 suited, I like the fold there. I think a lot of people 3-bet and they don't have a reason to do so. The guy looks like a nit on the button, so 7-8 suited might not be the best hand to start 3-betting. Although it is a good hand to do it with. In the big blind we can call with it as well and defend, but from the small blind it gets a little bit awkward. Hopefully we'll see some big action and see what Thuan's made of in the tough spots. I think a general strategy in these games is to bet big when you have it. Don't be the one calling, with marginals a ton. Just really, owning the bad regs. But, as you can see looking around the table now, there's so many fish who, kind of half stacked or, just in every pot. And they love to call, so really pound the value bets in them. And when they're, coming at you with huge bets, then maybe it's time to back off if you're top pair no kicker, or, a marginal, smaller overpair or something like that. We basically want to be in control as much as possible, or if we're not in control, at least we know exactly why we're doing what we're doing, and there's a solid reason for it. A lot of people can call turns with a pair and not know if they're going to call, the river. We should really know by that point what we're doing and have a reason to do so. Nothing interesting going on as yet. Everything looks fine. Again, I don't know why he's not got auto top up on. Maybe he doesn't know you can do it on this site, but saves you manually doing it, and make sure you're always at 100 big blinds. So that's leak number 1 found so far. This is good to see. He's looking at people's pop-ups, having a little look around. He's got his HUD in place. You can see he's got notes on people and colour coding them. 10's here. I just go for a 3x. Yep, nice. 10 jack suited under the gun. I'd probably raise. I don't know why he didn't raise that one. I'm seeing green markers and just assuming they're fish. So 10 jack suited is a nice hand to do it with. We can make straights. We can make flushes. We can make 2 pairs. We can, be quite confident with 10s and jacks a lot of the time. I just, go for it. 9's here. We could even check because we can bet the turn and get in on the river. But if we are going to bet, I really like this small bet. I'd be tempted to flat here. But yeah, I think all the money's going in. Yeah, you see, that's the problem when we jam. We miss out on the 5 bigs. I would probably flat call, check the turn, hope he jams it. If he doesn't jam it, then I just jam the river. Just give him the extra chance to put it in. And I know, like, seeing that, the guy's put in, 90% of his stack or whatever, like, well, he's not folding. Sometimes they do, so, just be sure, just flat. Let them spaz the turn. If they don't, then we can value jam the river, and, they'll probably call it off pretty wide. Or they could even improve and think they have to call it off now. Ace-10 here, 2 limpers. His sizing's good. Yep, I like that. Seems like he's got 2 huge fish on his left here. On this flop, when I get called, I'm probably checking. I think we're going to get called way too often, and we just don't have enough sort of equity. But I mean, obviously that worked pretty well for him. He knows his guy. Is checking too weak? Thinking about it, yes, maybe. But guys called are huge ISO for 6.5x. I'd be putting him on a lot of pocket pairs, or a lot of hands that kind of connect well with that flop. I like the check here with Ace King suited. It was it's a board that smacks him in the face that we can't improve too well on. Seems as this table top left, it's actually three fish in a row. Yasmina, Kamabdiem, and Jingo's 80. So it's a shame they've all got position on us, but we can still outplay them and get plenty of money from those guys. Should definitely be getting in as many pots for them as possible. ISOing, re-ISOing, pounding bets into them. Really just owning them in every way we can. King 10 blind v blind, definitely worth a steal. Have to fold on the top two tables. A7 could we open with three fish? I think it's still a little bit too wide and we should fold. Yeah, A7 suited I think we can open though. King 10 once he goes check check. I'd be happy to bet the turn here I think. I guess we're going to go to showdown here with King High, which can never be a bad thing when someone just flatted pre and it checked down. We could maybe lead there and stop getting outplayed possibly, but versus a fish I think it's cool. Nice steal there with the King 7 suited. Under the gun Queen 10 suited, I would have opened there because of the three fish behind us. I think we're not paying attention to the game enough there. We want to play pots with hands like that against fish. We want to play hands generally, but Queen 10 suited it's fine versus their calling and calling range. Ace 10 suited, I like an ISO here. 4x is perfect sizing, really well played. Ace 10, I think we just go for value. I think 3 is ideal. We can get called by a lot of draws. Plenty of worst aces. The guy called really quick, so I'm putting him on quite a weak hand. I'd go pretty big here, like 785, 825. The bigger the better. These guys won't fold a flush draw. They're not looking at the price they're getting. They'll call with any ace, and they'll call with maybe straight draws or gut shots. So really pump the money in there. And the reason as well, if we're pumping the money in there, then the pot's bigger on the river, so we can go for a much bigger value bet. Or if we think they've got such a really weak marginal, we can give them just such a sick price to call. We can bet small and give them 5-1, and they'll just make a crying call. So that's a couple of reasons to do it. Pocket 3 is definitely an open. 10-4 offsuit, definitely a fold. I'll probably see bet here. Dry flop. Probably just go like 180 to €2. We get snapped off. I don't know how much of a fish this guy is. We can definitely barrel a lot of jack turns because it hits us more than him. I was just about to say I expect this guy to have like a 6 or pair like 4s or 5s. So I think that could have been like a really good barreling spot for us when the jack peeled. And then we can bet the river as well, and we can get a lot of 10s to fold, but generally I think if you just took an extra 2 seconds because we acted really quick, you could have just put a guy on a range of hands. He called pre, so we don't think he's got a big pair. We don't think he's got many jacks, because he check called the flop pretty quick. So I doubt he's just randomly floating you with like Jack King or something. And he instantly checked the river as well, so he kind of turns his hand face up. Okay, I'm not sure what this guy's 3-bet is on the button, but this looks like a nice cold 4-bet spot because we're deep as well, so it puts pressure on them. I think the correct sizing is like 11. 11.25, that's great. Because we don't want to make it too cheap, because obviously this guy's in position, we are deep. So we don't want him to, just be calling us and then finding ourselves in a really sick spot post-flop. Obviously, I mean, it's fine if the guy calls us with worse. I'm just saying we don't want to just, make it 8. And, he has to call us with any 2. 11.25 is a really nice size. Once we get shipped on this quick for this sizing, I'm just folding. I'd put that guy on a pretty nutted range. We haven't got out of line at all. That guy looks pretty solid. And it was for 120 bigs effective, so yeah. King Jack here, really like the raise. €3 looks good. Pocket 7s, I'm going about 250. I think we could bet bigger generally, like as an overall. I'd probably just half pot King Jack here on the Ace 3-3. We rep it pretty well. Here I'm making it 15-50 and hoping to get it in versus a draws or a bad queen. I would not be calling. People love to get it in with draws. People love to get it in with queens because they think we have draws. If they have a queen, I'd call the King Jack there for 150 in case they had a draw. So yeah, we're going to check jam. That's okay. But yeah, I think we just raise the flop there because we get all these draws to fold the turn basically. But maybe if that guy was bluffing, we got an extra bet out of him. But generally, I'd be putting as much money into that pot as possible on that kind of flop because we don't want any cards to come and put him off. You know, stacking with a queen. We don't want him to actually get there. You know, because if he gets there on the turn, we've got to check call and be playing our full house draw. We're out of position, so we're kind of fucked in a way because what we're going to do now, we've got to check to him or lead, and that just is a really awkward position. In position, I think we can definitely call with sets because we're the last to act. We can put people into a coffin basically. Out of position though, let's take the lead in that pot, build the pot ourselves, get value for our hand, protect our hand, and set up pots so we can get as much money in there as we possibly can. Because when we flop second set versus what seems to be a fish, then what are we waiting for? If the guy's bluffing and he folds, then yeah, it sucks. But generally on flops like that, they'll have some sort of draw or some sort of hand they want to hang on to. For example, that guy could have had king queen there. He's bet the ace, we've jammed it. He's like, oh god, the guy's got an ace, I've got to fold it now. Whereas before he might have stacked with his king queen. King 4 suited, I'm calling. Versus 3 fish, we've got a hand that when we hit 2 pair or 3 of a kind fours or something, or a flush draw, even a king's probably good. We can be pretty confident that we're not going to go broke, and people are going to bet worse, and we can get value versus worse. So I would have called there. We're getting a good price on the pot as well. Ace 10, I'm probably checking back because we can get check raise a ton on these on these boards. I'd check back and then bet the good turns, or call some leads on safe turns as well. But I think we're just setting ourselves up here to get check raised a ton of the time. Six is there. I might actually 3x it on the button because there's 2 fish. In fact, I would. It's a good hand. We then call all the time. When we hit, we can build bigger pots. Ace Jack suited. 2 fish in the pot. Let's bet really big. 350. 325. These guys love to call. They love to try and play back. They're pretty much retarded to say the least. Here I'm basically putting no one on a huge strength hand. I'm thinking I've got the nuts. I'm more worried about Yasmina as I am to Jingos. So yeah, I think this sizing's really good. I'm pretty much happy to get it in top pair, top kicker. We get snapped here. I'm putting this guy on like a Jack King, or a big sort of combo draw like 7-8 clubs. So yeah, the jam on the turn's perfect. Kind of really think this guy's got King Jack or Jack Queen. Okay, the guy's got a combo draw. He does it the painful way. He gets hit with the offsuit 3. But yeah, I mean, this guy's obviously just a massive fish. Nothing we can do there. We played that perfectly. We got a guy to call it off with 6 deuce of clubs. Happy days. Just not the result we wanted. Here again, 10s. I'm going big. I'm going 250 at least. These guys are calling. We're missing out on so much value. They're calling, they're raising, they're spazzing, cold calling. Let's really pump some more money into these pots. And it's like a lot of people look at BB 100 win rates. Well, just look at how many BBs we've missed out on. 20 maybe this video already. That would have gone higher. So this really boosts a day's profit. You can sometimes make a buy-in in a day just by betting an extra 2 big blinds where you wouldn't normally. I don't think we're ever going to find tables like table one again. It's just golden. It's three absolute idiots in a row, and then the other two guys who are regs are just complete nits and not giving us any hassle. Ace three suited we can three bet here, or fold, but I'd personally three bet. I think calling's not the best option just because it's so hard for us to play post flop, and we're going to be check folding a ton, and just being finding ourselves with not a lot and having to continue. Like here we have to call. We've got a three. We've got a backdoor draw. We've got an ace. Turns like this are really not good for us. I expect us to be betting two a lot. Yeah, I'd probably just fold here. So that's the problem with calling pre. I think a lot of times, we're gonna just dust off money like that. Three betting's fine. Folding's fine. Okay. Not a lot happening, but so yeah, for now, I'll just mention the forum and the deals and everything we have to offer. So obviously the forum's new. It's the fastest growing forum out there. It's the best community of players. So head on over after you've watched this video. Also make sure you check out our poker school and deals. You're learning how to play poker here, and to make more profit. But if you don't have a good deal on the site, then you're just losing money already. So hit live chat after this. Just say you've watched a video and you've heard about how good our deals are and how they can make you more money. And an agent will sort out for you. Ace King, I really like this line. Checking. I'll probably check call this river if he bets. Yeah, but yeah, we get to go to showdown. Guess we've got worst days. Jack 10 I'd probably open. Generally I wouldn't, but with three fish, let's really just crank it up. And we can open like 4x, I think. You've really got to make the most of having these fish at your table. Ace Queen, I might even 4x again. Really just build pots. This isn't good. But yeah, no, this is a great spot actually. Now all this money's in there and this guy's so short, it's just an obvious squeeze. I'd make it like 12. With the intention to get it all in versus Jasmina, or if everyone folds, we just pick up 25 bigs. Yeah, 11.50, that's fine. I expect everyone to fold. Maybe this Jin goes to call, which wouldn't be that bad of a thing because he definitely calls a face queen. But the blinds, I'm pretty much guaranteed, are going to fold because they're such nits. I'm surprised they even called pre-flop for the 250, to be honest. This guy's trying to think about it. He's probably got like eights thinking, can I shove or something? But he's obviously just going to fold. Yeah, time waster. Ace 10, I'm making this like 3. Maybe more. Yep, 3 is fine. Great flop for us, we can rep it well. I just half pot it. 350 looks fine. I'd be tempted to jam here, just because this guy calls so often and then folds. And we've got equity versus, 3s and 6s. And I just expect the guy to fold all the time, basically. A lot of people there would check give up, because they're like, oh, he's only got like, 18 bigs left, or whatever it was. So obviously he's going to call me. The truth is they actually don't. This guy, we've watched him play. He calls off so often and then folds so often, so... I'd bet the 6s here. I think we open pre-flop, so I don't get why we're checking. Let's get some money in the middle. Not many people are going to take off on King 5-6 dry flops. When we check raise, it looks too strong. So I'd really be betting, to be honest. Definitely betting now when I bet about 450 to 525. I think five's a perfect bet, to be honest. Yeah. Mm, yeah. Again, just missed out on a big blind, I think. When this guy calls, I'll just pause it for a second. When this guy calls, he's a bit of a fish. We can definitely just have like a bare draw. But my kind of line on a river here is that a lot of the time this guy has a draw. He's not going to check raise us, bluff, get the idea out of your head. People just don't do it enough. He can definitely have a king. He can definitely have, a pair like eights or tens. He can definitely have two pair. And he can definitely, sometimes have a worse set like pocket fours. I know you might think a lot of people would raise that on the turn, but generally they don't, just because obviously the straights are there. But yeah, like the reason I'm saying this is on rivers like this, I'd go really big because I think if they've got a king, they're going to call you because they're not going to believe that you've got a draw. They're going to believe that you missed a draw basically. If they've got two pair or better, they're going to call you. And if they've got nothing, they're going to fold. So basically, I go big because hands that can call will call pretty much any bet, just because they won't give you as much credit because everything missed. And the hands that were going to fold will fold anyway. So, let's get the value out the big ones. So I'd personally go around 12.50 here, 13.50. I think any of this is a mistake because I doubt anyone's going to call us with just a five. Maybe they will. But I generally think it's a king or better. And yeah, the guy had bottom two pair there, which kind of verifies my point. And I'm glad I paused that. Just because so often, they're never going to fold that for any amount. We could even jam and probably get them to call. But generally go big because the reason is they're going to call you with marginals and they're going to have big enough hands there enough anyway. So get the value from them, and if they fold, they obviously just miss their draw and whatever, they're going to fold for €2 as they're going to fold for 12. So when we're doing that, really think about what they can have and which sizing they will call. Just a lot of these things are just taking an extra 2 seconds. Just really thinking like logically about it rather than just like I've got a set, I must bet. Think about what they can have, how you would have played their sort of similar hands, and what money you can get out of such hands. I like to defend it with ace five off, and I'm pretty just gonna check call mode all the way here. I don't think I'd ever fold any kind of run out, to be honest. So I just check call, check call, check call. I like to check on this turn, let the guy represent a flush. I'll just be checking, and again I'll just be calling the river. Yeah, very nice play. Three five suited. What's happened here? Guys min raised by me blind. Oh no. I'll probably fold. Yep. Nice to see through and looking at all the stats. I've got to say, all of Ewan's fundamentals are perfect. He knows, which hands to play and where, reasons to do so. So he's got a solid game to say the least. Really solid game actually. He hasn't spazzed or anything. It's all been very straightforward, and he's almost made it look easy. Jack King suited, I like a call here against the fish. We can even 3-bet. The problem is if we 3-bet and they 4-bet, we kind of have to fold, and that sucks. But it's nice to ISO. Ace King, I'm going pretty big here. I probably have gone bigger. I would have gone like 450, because otherwise you're going to get 3 callers. Would have been nice to just got it like heads up versus Yasmina or something. And yeah, this is just an easy all in. It's whatever. I mean, we can't really think about this too much. We've got Ace King versus two massive fish, who I think have queens and aces, which is incredible. Yeah, whatever. I wouldn't even think about that twice. That's awesome though. I'm glad the guy with queens got it, because he's the uber fish. So him having more chips can never be a bad thing, and it sucks that we lost, but nothing we can do. King Jack would have been up against King 3, and all the three were kind of 9, so good fold. Good job we didn't float the flop. Okay, that's the end of the video. We're going to call it there. So yeah, like I was just saying, fundamentals are absolutely fine. The leaks are not betting big enough, not taking enough time, and not being 100 big blinds deep. Thewin, if you could leave plenty of comments, and everyone else who's watching this, leave comments, we'll answer them. Or head on over to the forum and make a thread about it. This was John for PokerVIP.com, and I really hope you enjoyed the video. Goodbye.